derivative of the God. How could we, and all these things that people do in the material world. So think, well, here's the thing. In the material world, the mind takes up that energy and it, gives out with a pretty, depending on how bright or, um, knowledgeable and experienced the person is, and come up with better and worse things. Some of them are very good. And they also get inspiration, too. That doesn't come from the mind. Anyway, we're not talking about inspiration. We're talking about, as Einstein said, the intuition, the sacred intuition. We're talking about the mind. Using your mind to find answers. Sometimes using your heart. God forbid if you should just straight out use your passions, or something else, to find answers. But so, in material energy, say, well, there's so many things that we could make that would make life better and make it more efficient, and these little pieces, we can draw these little pieces together, and then we have this thing. Oh, it'll be great, and we can drive a car that doesn't really require any solar car, and we can have water systems. There's the whole thing, Zeitgeist. If you ever watch Zeitgeist, the guy has pretty much done that. It's quite wonderful to do. So much material activity going on, people don't even have to work or hardly work at all, and they can spend their time doing, hopefully more fruitful things. Than just slaving away. Some, repetitive process, blah, blah, blah. But, it turns out, studies have shown that people who work are more healthy. So you want people to work. That's where Bill Drayton comes in. You should really look at his talk. I'll give out what that talk was. You can look it up and look at that. But anyway, so they go along like that. They figure it all out. They figure out, oh yeah, there's so many resources over here. There's like this, and then so there's a whole group of people in the world today who are figuring out using material energy in their mind. They're looking at the material aspect of everything. Machines, robots. They're going to solve the problems of the world by making a better machine. And using machines to do things in a better way. And so there's nobility there. There's good stuff there. I'm just saying that's their world. Now, people who happen to access, and there's different levels of material forces. There's higher ones and lower ones. There's 7 different levels, as far as I've been told. It makes sense. I don't want to get into that. So now, people who are kind of looking at things from a vegetable, they're using vegetable energy, they might say, if we all could just be more peaceful, and we could live together in harmony. But, people would have, there would be bounds, and there would be kind of like, each person would have their own place, because, you're looking at trees and things, they're pretty, they'll starve out the other trees if, poison them if they fight for their space, so it's about space, and if everyone could have their own space, they could grow and they could flourish so many ways. There's hemp, and there's marijuana, and there's and you can make ropes, and you can use wood, tree houses, and build and do all kinds of wonderful things with the vegetable world. You can eat great vegetable foods and just feel great, and you don't have to don't get into the animal world, don't be killing animals. Let's stay here in the vegetable world. So, if you happen to be a person who just for whatever reason generally thinks from the energy in your mind runs from the vegetable force, then you're going to be thinking along those lines. And there's a group of people. I mean, the material people far outnumber those people, but because you think, oh, it's odd, and they are odd because they're the odd amount. I mean, there are not that many of them. Tree huggers, vegetable people. I mean, people who are largely motivated and look at life through the prism of their mind as a vegetable world. Okay, and some of it's quite good, as it is on each level. Some of it has its place, sure. You're gonna feel probably a lot better living in the hollow. I'm not gonna go on and on about the thing. You get the idea. You could take it up and talk about any number of offshoots from this. Anywho, well, let's say that you happen to be a stronger, kind of person, and the source that you use, the predominant source of energy that you use when you use your mind is the animal force. Well, I mean, we have territories that we have, and we have to dominate those territories, and we have to secure our territory. And I mean, we're willing to let other people have their territories, but boy, if they come over here, if they threaten us in some way, why, just because of the way things are, we're going to have to kind of fix them, and maybe we'll have to eat them up or kill them. And occasionally, maybe just to kind of exercise who we are, we need to kind of go out and show people that, hey, we're pretty strong, and don't mess with us. Don't mess with us. The dominant, alpha male, alpha animal, maybe be a female, I don't know. It's all about territories and raising your young, very important. Let's protect the children. Gotta protect the children. Gotta do this and this. So really, the mind then of a person like this simply reflects, or gives evidence that it's living, it's perceiving life on a vegetable level. In an animal level, how things look from the point of view of an animal. Don't want to be, getting too fine of a point about anything. I mean, it's live, and okay, let live, unless you happen to be something that I eat, and then I'm going to eat you. So, if there's some grass over there, or there's a country over there that has some resources that I need to kind of keep my power going, I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to kill everything, or, frighten off, and find a way to get those resources and use them, and that's going to be my right, because I have the right as an animal to survive on its belly. So these are the kind of forces that operate in when a person is being energized in their mind by animal forces. And so you might say, well, Lambert, but I mean, what about human forces? I mean, we are human, aren't we? And I'm not going to go into that. You're as human, you're a real human being if you are, and as human as you are. But I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about those human forces. That's a little more difficult, because now we're getting up into some pretty high, a higher, more complex level of thing. And I'll give it a try. Forgive me if I. So, a person whose mind is activated by the human energy, by kind of a human energy, is kind of looking at things from a human point of view, more or less. Well, we actually have great capacity and can understand and figure out many, many things, and we actually understand much more than these other groups. Um, and we are going to uh, we are going to because of that understanding, we are going to do the right thing, and we know what is the right thing. We know that people have to live, and we need to look after them. And yet, at the same time, we have to do this, and we have to, say, it goes down a litany of all the other forces that takes care of all those things. And it only sees itself, so it doesn't see anything more. It's only up to that level, so it doesn't see anything more. It says, I am the one who knows. Don't tell me what to do. I know what to do. I know exactly the right thing to do. I know what's right. Because I'm a human being, and we're quite something. And we are the, blah, blah, blah. So we like music, and we're fine, we're this and that. We can make really fine things, and we do this. So, in terms of the world, the human thinks this. Well, it's not right that there should be, everyone should be looked after, and we need to all get together and try to be human. I'm human, and I want you to be human too. And let's not destroy everything, okay? Because as a human being, I need these things to kind of keep going. So I'm concerned about this destruction that's going on. So we all need to get together and decide to agree to be fair and do things and be done and make peace with each other, and we'll really want a fair share and live and let live, and whatever people want to do, as long as they're not harming other people. I can't see this kind of this sort of thing. All kinds of things like that. People have rights. Human beings have rights. You can't take away the rights of a human being. They're all about being human and this kind of thing. But so those are the four main actors in the world, because people, they're major actors. The majority of the stuff is from those places, because people, are in a big hurry. I mean, we're under pressure, aren't we? And so they're not. Okay, so take a breath here because I'm getting a little tired. I've got the first part done. Now we're going to go on to some more positive in a second. Okay. So these different, levels of energy operating in the mind. Just look at those the same worlds, the worlds the worlds that they're a part of. So it doesn't really get to the it doesn't look at the human being and if there's anything that can be done there. And people today, with their understanding, as I said before, kind of a sort of a not really strong understanding the true human being, a real human being, and how a human being operates.